Shall we roll a video?
We're here.
Yay. Goodness. Yes, yes, yes. More, please. I love seeing everyone's shoulders kind of sway when we're listening to that music. Hello, everyone. Happy Fierce Female Friday. We're here for our Friday time together, the WomanUP live show. I'm Deborah Trapin. I am the chief strategist here at WomanUP, amongst many other wonderful hats that I wear in this lifetime. And I am so excited to welcome you all today. We have a really fun show for you. As you saw in the advertisement, it's still WaveMaker Takeover season as we lead up to our retreat in June. So there's just a couple of things that I want to share with you, and then I'll pass the mic to Sarah, and then we'll float off into the sunset and let the wave makers take over. First, of course, you've heard me say the word retreat a couple of times already. Have you purchased your retreat pass yet? We encourage you to head on over to IamWomanUp.com and get her taken care of today. We have the most beautiful event planned for you. I'm going to speed share some of the highlights. All right, everyone's going to travel in on 6/12. That is Monday. You're going to arrive from 4 to 6. You can check into the hotel, get a welcome sit, drop your bags off. Meet us in the lobby at our WomanUP reception area, where you're going to be able to pick up your swag bag and your lanyard with your beautiful, ready to be creative badge. Of course, we're bringing back the creation station. So get ready to get your creative juices flowing. And if you want to bring your own markers and stickers and glitters, go for it. This is for you to show the world who you are on that name badge. Concurrently to that 4 to 6 at the reception of checking in for WomanUP, we are having a welcome reception and bringing all of our speakers, our sponsor partners, and our wave makers, the leaders in our community, together to meet you. So join us on the oceanfront terrace. We're going to have sips and snacks just to get you all ready for the 6:30 to 7 o'clock start times for the WaveMaker dinners. All of these things that I just mentioned to you, the experiences, that's all listed on the IamWomanUp.com's website. There's different tabs underneath the event page, so check that out. So Monday, you get back, you get a nice sleep, and then Pam, who's going to talk about this in a second, is going to lead us in yoga and meditation at one of the most gorgeous rooftop pools I've ever seen, with an incredible view of the Pacific Ocean and the Oceanside, aka Oceanside Pier. You're going to enjoy a beautiful walking meditation over there, and then head on back to breakfast on the oceanfront terrace. Then we've got a beautiful day of content, collaboration filled content that we will share more about in the weeks to come as we introduce the speakers. Then we're going to head back out to that oceanfront terrace for lunch on Tuesday. Soak in the sun. For those of you who don't want to be underneath the sun rays, we will have indoor seating, so don't worry about that. And then we're going to go back in for about 90 minutes of more collaboration. And then you've got a couple of hours of free play time in Oceanside. play on the beach, ride a bike, take a walking tour, shop, snack, whatever you want to do. That's your time before we all come together on Tuesday night for the now famous soiree. It's poolside again. We've got amazing cabanas at this place, a pool table in the club, the shelter club where we're hosting the event. So all sorts of fun activities to get you to mix and mingle together. Of course, DJ Asia is going to be there again, spinning some amazing tunes for us. So yes, there will be dancing. We are making sure that there is plenty of room for you ladies because we know you like to shake your thing. So don't worry about that. Right after the soiree, we have another round of WaveMaker dinners. These are no host events, and they're a great way for you to get to know other attendees at the conference. Those, again, are all going to be listed on the experience page on IamWomanUp.com. So once you buy your ticket, we'll make sure that you get that link. Wednesday, we're going to wake back up again with Pam, do some stretching by the pool, some meditating in front of that ocean, come back, have breakfast, do some more collaboration, have some amazing conversations. And then we're going to have another beautiful lunch by the ocean. And then we're going to come back into the afternoon and we're going to have some deeper one-on-one conversations happening, some keynotes. It's going to be such an amazing experience. We are so excited to welcome you there. Then we're wrapping the event in a bow in a different way this year. We flipped the wine tasting to the end. So Alicia is bringing her sister, Angelina, the winemaker, along with her. They're not only tasting the newest vintage of their wines, but they are bringing some of the amazing brands they just told us about last year that they've been investing in. So we're hoping to see a canned brand there. We're hoping to have a French rosé, some bubbles. It is going to be different than we have ever experienced with them. So please head on over to IamWomanUp.com, grab your ticket. We do also still have room for sponsors. So if you want to sponsor us for the year or if you want to sponsor something fun at the conference, like one of those cabanas I mentioned, or something like a special cocktail at the poolside soiree, we have lots of options under the sponsor button on IamWomanUp.com. We would love to have a chit chat with you. And then last but not least, if you did not catch our conversation with Christine George, who's one of the co-founders of Post and Beam, one of our gold sponsors, she had us over on her livecast podcast yesterday, and we had a great conversation about the retreat. And also, for those of you who are new here, we talked about the why WomanUp exists, how it started. So it's a really great conversation to kind of snuggle in with over the weekend, grab a cup of coffee and learn a little bit more about the community. So we'll make sure to drop all those links in there for you. That's it for me, Sarah. What do you got?
Oh my goodness, that was a speed share if I ever heard one. Thank you so much, Deborah. So amazing. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Sudachan. I'm Senior VP and Chief Strategy Officer for the California Association of Realtors. So I have some CAR updates for you. But one I want to say is a huge collaboration with WomanUp. We have our new ad campaign dropping this week. Actually, it just dropped this week. It's our Who's Your Realtor ad campaign focused on buy, sell, and the dream of homeownership. So we'll drop some of those commercials in the chat. And we have a special activation coming to the retreat with our Who's Your Realtor sign. So you'll see some photo ops for you. That'll be really fun at the soiree. So I wanted to share that. Here in California, we're gearing up for our legislative meetings up in Sacramento next week, May 1st through the 4th. And we have our member director forum, which is CAR in 60 minutes, our broker idea exchange forum, and our first ever Writing with the Brand block party that's happening on May 2nd in the evening. It's free for members. You need a red wristband. So if you're in California in the capital and you're a CAR member, you can join us. Then we have our ledge day, our leg day, as Deborah likes to call it, but we fondly call it our ledge day briefing session. We have some amazing speakers. We have the Pro Tem Tony Atkins and Rosalisi Ortiz coming to join us. And then some of the things that are relevant for our brokerage community is our Realtor Risk Management and Consumer Protection Forum. That's happening on May 4th. That's a special day in our community, but I'm just going to say that, and you know it if you'll see it. Anyway, Department of Real Estate Forum in California, that's happening also on May 4th. And on May 3rd, YPN in Sacramento is hosting a mega mixer. So that's what's happening next week. We'll drop the link to all of the info on the CAR business meetings if you're interested. And if you have any questions, just reach out to me, sarah@car.org.
Is May 4th special because it's your birthday, Sarah?
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's also Star Wars Day. So it's for all the sci-fi geeks out there. It's Star Wars Day and it's Sarah's birthday. So if you are blessed to see Sarah in Sacramento next week, please give her big hugs. Because how cool is it?
And maybe a margarita for Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
And a margarita and pink bubbles.
Pink bubbles, margarita. Actually, when the meetings fall on my birthday, which is probably every other year in Sacramento, because it is right around this time where we go storm the Capitol. It's the best week because I get so many extra hugs. So thank you so much.
Yay. Perfect. All right. So Ms. Pam, the community has seen you, met you on the show, etc. But before we ride off into the sunset, I want to make sure and encourage you to share a little bit about yourself, since I know you're going to ask everyone else to do the same. So I'm going to say, Pam, as we sign off, tell us, who is Pam Blair?
Hi, everybody. I'm Pam Blair. I'm the founder and owner of Yoga Bug Real Estate here in Portland, Oregon. I'm a WomanUP WaveMaker, and so happy to be so. And I'm a yogi. So yeah, I've been part of the WomanUP community since 2019. It's my tribe. I'm just so grateful for all the support and, just the experiences I've had through this community. So yeah, and I'm just happy to be here with my fellow wave makers, Joanne and Sandra today, and my colleague and friend, Danielle.
Perfect. Well, Sarah and I are going to head out. Y'all have a fantastic show. We'll see you next week.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Well, welcome, ladies.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to be here with you. Yeah, and I'm so excited and honored, honestly, to help to introduce my friend and colleague, Danielle Lazier, to the WomanUP community. She's coming to the retreat. Woo-hoo. First time in June.
Woo-hoo.
I'm so excited to spend time with her there. I had the great honor of meeting Danielle on the Inman stage in 2015. That's like 8 years ago. So yeah, I met her then, and I've just been kind of stalking her and following her ever since. And from the moment I met Danielle, it was very apparent to me that this lady had her stuff together, and that she was a pioneer and a leader. She just held herself that way. And so when I want to know what the latest and greatest is, I kind of check in with Danielle, is the truth of it. So I'm happy to be here and to introduce her. And Danielle, I'd love for you, I've had the pleasure of following you through all the changes and evolutions of your business, your family life. It's just been such a pleasure, but I would love for you to just share with the WomanUP community some highlights of kind of where you started and how you got where you're at today.
Well, first of all, thank you for such a warm intro. I got a little nervous hearing that. You set the bar high. And Pam is left out that she has been a wonderful resource for clients of mine relocating to Portland over the years. And I always get such fabulous feedback and that they become part of her friend community. So thank you for doing that. So my name's Danielle Lazier, and I'm here in San Francisco. And I got into real estate when I was literally just turning 23. So the job I'd had the longest up until real estate was 6 months. And I've now been in the business 21 years. So you can do the math on that, but you shouldn't. And I'm now a broker. I have my own brand called Vivre Real Estate. It's a partnership with Side. And I've worked for a number of different brokerages here in the city. I've had a team for a really long time and always kind of thought of myself as an entrepreneur and a business owner, and not someone who works like for a brokerage. You know, we are in business for ourselves, no matter where you hang your hat. I'm also a mother of twins who are going to be 7 in August. And I played tennis this morning. And I don't know. I think the leadership thing, you know, is I am one of those people, and I think there's a lot of us in real estate who have been labeled bossy their entire life. And I embrace that. And so now I have learned to be bossy with some tact and some grace that I maybe didn't always have before. But I'm still keeping some of the bossiness.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, we bring what we bring into the business, and then we grow into that, you know, over time. So Danielle, so you had already shared you're like your job before real estate, you maybe had a 6-month stint with them, but tell us, my next question was, what was really like your first business? So maybe could you share a little bit about your journey with your blog? Because that was something that really captivated me when I met you in San Francisco.
Yeah, sure. So I'm not somebody who like had a newspaper route. I did work from a young age and always had jobs, but I wasn't like out running my own little businesses. But I did always like to make money, and I always liked to work. So I did a lot of different things in that way. But when I got into real estate, this was in between the first tech boom and then the Google and then social media tech boom. So it was just in time when I moved here in '99 for everybody to be getting laid off. And so it was a moment in San Francisco where young people actually didn't have a lot of random money from exits and Google stock like they do now. And so when I got into real estate, no one I knew was going to be buying real estate or could afford that. You know, we were riding our bicycles around the Mission and hanging out. And I was by far the most professional of my friends for many years, and would show up for happy hour like in a limited suit, if you remember that brand. It's embarrassing. And they'd be like, can you take that off? But so I thought, how am I going to do this? And I started coaching very early on. My mentor and first boss in the business, Ildiko Polly, set me up with Joe Stump tapes and buy referral only. And I would listen constantly to these interviews with other top producers that were, people, I just loved it. Like I love listening to how other people did their business. And I had this idea that I would create this thing called SF Hot List. And so I had a friend make me a 1-page HTML site that had like, there was no photo. And I had another friend do a little graphic design of me. And Pam, please tell me if I'm going too slow here with
No, you're
too
great.
much detail. I had another friend make a little graphic design of a blonde lady, a blonde girl really at the time, holding up a real estate sign in front of a house. And it was just like a little cartoon. And it was just, that was the only image on the page. And the rest of it was just words. And I called it SF Hot List. And I would go around to other people's listings because I didn't have my own. And I would write about them. And I would write like the lifestyle of them. So if it was a fixer, I might say, you know, are you a handyman or sleeping with one? Like, this is the place for you. Or if it was near all the like hip bars and stuff, and like roll home in your Manolos, because this is like Sex in the City era. And I would just write 2 or 3 sentences about the property. There was a disclaimer that said, I'm not the listing agent. I'm a member of San Francisco MLS. And then I would post these words, just like 3 or 4 sentences onto Craigslist. And I'd just say, you know, if you're interested in this property, you know, email me. And keep in mind that there was no Zillow, there was no Curbed, there was no Socket site. Like no one was doing this yet. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was doing this to get buyers. And to my kind of shock, I actually developed clients who were other like young tech professionals and other people who identified with this. And that's how I started my business. Now, in retrospect, I wish somebody had tapped me on the shoulder and been like, hey, what you're doing is building a media company, and you're going to make a lot more money if you were to go in that direction than doing this to get like a client and a client and a client.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, that's the origin of SF Hot List.
I love that. I love that you were just figuring it out, and it wasn't something that was like super elaborate or complicated, but it was something that was very pioneering, and you didn't even know that at the time. I love that.
That is great. Danielle, thank you for sharing that. What is the life or leadership advice you give most often?
So when I was thinking about this, the thing that it kept coming to is my mantra for the last couple of years has been bold and friendly. And those two things being equally important. So especially with our gender, when you're ambitious and you're assertive or aggressive, you are labeled certain ways, as I definitely have been over the course of my life and career. And so through we'll talk about it later, but through my coaching and my interest in tactical empathy and emotional intelligence, I started to think about bringing in this idea of friendliness. And so every day I'm thinking, how can I get bolder? And bolder means being more direct, less afraid, really finding out what's going on in any given situation, addressing problems head on, not wasting my time, finding out if I'm the favorite or the fool with people really quickly, but doing it with grace and doing it with respect and deference and friendliness, doing with a smile, like becoming, I have this on my Instagram profile, a velvet hammer, because I have definitely spent a lot of time being just a hammer. Or being like too worried about people pleasing and fretting about different things and stuff like that. And so bold and friendly is my advice.
So you're going to show up at the WomanUP retreat with a velvet hammer, I'm hoping. Because
so not a costume person.
Priceless, but... actually. No, not dressed as one. You just have to have one.
I know, but I feel like it needs to go with like a sexy goth look, like a lot of,
I think you should wear a tool belt, Danielle, and have it a tool belt, and it's like
that would be awesome. Kendall would get into that. Kendall
glitter on the
she
tool
would love that.
Some glitter, some sparkle on the tool belts with the velvet hammer.
That is priceless advice. Thank you. When we asked you about your favorite topic, you said tactical empathy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. What is that to you? You touched on it a little bit, but go into it deeper.
Sure. So some of you may be familiar with the author, Chris Voss. He is a former lead FBI hostage negotiator turned business consultant who wrote a book called Never Split the Difference that definitely has been having its 15 minutes. And I was lucky enough to be introduced to his work and him directly before he kind of blew up through my, actually, I didn't even know the real estate coach at the time either. I went down to LA because a friend told me to go to this. And I sat there and I listened to Steve Shull, who's a real estate coach, and Chris Voss go through the book. And I hadn't even read the book yet. And so since then, I have become absolutely obsessed and the poster child. I'm even listed in the acknowledgements of their latest book together. But basically, so Chris coined, I like to give credit, he coined this term tactical empathy. The way I would describe it is really using emotional intelligence in a savvy business oriented way. So it is a way to increase your influence with others by slowing down the process and taking the time to really understand where the person's coming from, which we've all heard before. But the key distinction here is making sure that that person you're talking to actually feels like you understand where they're coming from. So when you do that and you demonstrate understanding and you demonstrate empathy, now keep in mind, empathy doesn't mean you're agreeing with them. So you think the house is worth 1.5, they think it's worth 2.5. Acknowledging where they're coming from and allowing them to express themselves is not all of a sudden you being like, yes, it's worth 2.5. It's irrelevant to that. But it's giving people that space to feel understood by you. And when you do that, you increase your influence with others, and you have kind of the best chance of success to guide them gently in their decision-making to a more, rational decision. I mean, I could go on and on about this, Sandra, so I keep it. I'll stop there.
I absolutely love that. Thank you so much. It is some very big pearls of wisdom in there.
Danielle, tell us about a woman in your life who has helped you reach a goal or encouraged you to step into your personal power.
So I would say my first real estate boss. So I didn't know anyone in real estate at all. No one in my family does real estate. And I just randomly got introduced to this woman named Ildiko Polly, who is an independent broker. And she brought me on as a quote buyer's agent. And I just listened to her all the time. And she was really early. This was 2002, but she was getting into the pre-foreclosure space and short sales. So I actually did a 7-month short sale myself in 2002, obviously years before we all had to learn about those. And she is such a cool lady. And she just kind of saw something in me. And I remember being like, you're not going to stay with me. You're going to need to go on. And she just really empowered me to become to grow into being a really confident woman and not having any shame about it. And I was very inspired by her and still am.
Wonderful. She sounds amazing.
I love that. I love that. It's so powerful when you feel seen, when somebody is able to see something in you that maybe you can't see in yourself. And I feel like this community is that's kind of the essence of this community, is that we're here to lift each other up and see those things in ourselves that or those things being reflected to us that maybe we're not in a space to actually see ourselves yet, if I said that correctly. Anyway, that's beautiful. Thank you. All right, let's talk about retreat. Woo! I'm so excited for our retreat in June, and I'm so excited to spend time with all of these amazing women on the panel today. So I would love to hear, starting with Danielle, what you are most looking forward to at the retreat.
Well, you've been trying to get me to go to this for the last couple of years, and I'm just thrilled that it's actually happening this time. And so someone asked me, I sent out a promo for this and for this podcast, and a gentleman agent I know wrote back and he's like, is this just for women? And I thought it was funny because of okay. So I asked somebody, I was like, I don't think so, but I'm not sure. And the response I got was, it is for, it is centered around women and people who, but men are welcome. And I laughed and I was like, oh, so this is basically the opposite of every other event. But so I'm excited to be hanging out with other strong women because we are really the powerhouses of this business. And I love the camaraderie of that. And, like I was saying, I've neglected to mention this, so if you don't mind, I am coaching over 30 agents right now on tactical empathy and role play in real life situations in their work. And it's funny because when I launched my course, mostly women sign up for this, but not all. So it's men are welcome and women may understand this better. And of course, I am excited to be in SoCal and have some mommy time away from my kids and sleep and go to the pool and have a wine tasting with the Mondavi sisters. That sounds cool. So
I love it. Joanne, what are you looking forward to?
I am so looking forward just to connect with everyone again, to be in the company of such powerful women. And amazing women. For me, WomanUP is my pinnacle every year. I look forward to it every year. And, going to yoga classes, the new format of the retreat format, I'm counting the days. I think my suitcase is already packed. And Danielle, you said something about men. I'm a board member for our Central California Girl Scouts, and our CEO, because I've been talking about WomanUP so much. And one day he says, "Can I go to WomanUP?" And I said, "Well, it's kind of for real estate professionals." And he goes, "But you keep talking about it and it sounds like so much fun." I said, "Well, men are allowed, but you probably would get bored because we talk about, it's kind of for a different industry." But he was very excited. So I'm sure he's going to be asking me the whole time I'm there, "What are you doing? How's it going?" So
That's cool.
I'm just excited.
I love that. Sandra, what are you?
Oh, let's see. What am I looking forward to? I love the retreat format this year. I think we're a little bit over conferenced at this point. There's so many conferences, and to spend all day listening to other people when you really want to talk to the people that are sitting at your table, or talk to the people that you've heard a presentation and now you want to really talk to them more in depth. This will give us that opportunity. So I cannot wait for that. I can't even tell you how excited I am. And I'm actually already thinking about what I'm going to wear. And that's, for all of you that know me, that's not like me, right? I usually think about what I'm going to wear like the day I'm packing. But it's because it's a beach venue, and it's just going to be a little low key and very, I think I'll come away refreshed and with really my tank full. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I love those. I'm so excited about the new format too. And I know for myself, I want to connect verbally, sit with whoever I'm sitting with there. And I feel like, I agree with you. It's going to be amazing. And also the self-care portion of this year's retreat. I feel like 2023 is, at least for me personally, but there's something in the universe. Correct me if you think I'm wrong. I feel like there's just something in the universe that is literally shouting out to all of us, men and women, like, hey, wake up. You need to take care of yourself and you need to put yourself first. So thank you, WomanUP, for putting that big component into our retreat. All right. What I would love to ask next, let's start with you, Sandra. What is your favorite piece of advice that you've ever heard at WomanUP?
So Leslie Appleton Young's advice to actively listen instead of trying to form your response as someone's talking to you. So it's that active listening, and it just really hit home with me. For some reason, that's always just stuck with me. And I think that was at the first WomanUP.
Yeah, powerful moment. Joanne, how about you?
It was last year. And I think I was, as Pam knows, I was going through, we're trying to figure out next steps and things like that. And Valerie Torelli said something about be here and then to be. And so connecting the dots of the path that I was trying to, the trajectory. And when she said that, it just opened up everything. So it was, you're here, right here, and the way she said it and the way she brought it, I mean, it sounds so simple now that I'm saying it, but it made a huge impact because it was relating very personally of what was going on, what I was seeking, what I was trying to find, what I was trying to do. And it was the best moment. So
that's profound. Yeah, it's, people say we go to these conferences and it feels like just an ocean of information coming at us. I mean, we've all been to lots of conferences, and people say all the time, if there's just one thing that you can walk away with, and that can change your business and change your life.
And it's on my vision board, what she said on this side and then on this side for 2023.
Oh, That's amazing.
Valerie was so impressive last year, and it was so great to have her there. She better show up this year.
Oh, she better.
The other thing, Pam, I forgot to mention is Deborah Trappin did a lioness talk. And what was it, 3 years, 4 years ago now? You were there?
Yeah.
And that was really, it's the pride and really sticking up for other women instead of putting them down. I just, that left lasting impression on me.
Oh, wow.
If I go back and read my notes from that conference, it gives me the chills all over again.
Danielle, I can't wait to ask you this question.
And luckily I don't have to be, I can't answer this.
I'm just so happy you're joining us. Really, really happy. All right. So we're going to do some fun kind of rapid fire questions with you ladies. And so you just kind of write it like right off the top of your head, just a few words. And all right, so why don't we start with Danielle? And first job, what was your first job?
Scooping ice cream at Haagen-Dazs in Highland Park Village in Dallas.
Joanne.
Sorting tomatoes in the packing sheds in the summer in the Central Valley.
Awesome.
Sandra.
Phlebotomist.
Wow, that's fancy.
Yeah. Seriously, high school.
Fancy.
Wow. All right. Joanne, you're first this time. First concert.
The Carpenters. When I was in 8th grade, I can still visualize the gunny sack long dress I had on. We went to the pizza place. My mom took 4 friends and we went out for pizza and went downtown to the concert, and it was magical. Yeah, the Carpenters. I'm that old.
Danielle.
So you're gonna like mine. Peter, Paul, and Mary.
That's awesome.
I mean, clearly not at the beginning of their career, but
Yeah. Love it. Sandra.
Lady Gaga. And I've only ever been to 2 concerts in my whole entire life.
Wow.
I'm not a concert person, but Lady Gaga.
Well, God,
Oh, okay, that's a cool one to go to.
It was.
All right, next question. Do you consider yourself an introvert, an extrovert, or an ambivert? Let's start with Sandra this time.
I'm a total introvert. You would never know it when you see me out at events and things, but total introvert.
Joanne?
I am a huge extrovert. I think COVID made me a little bit of an introvert, but huge extrovert.
Danielle?
definitely ambivert.
Are you?
What is ambivert?
Both.
Oh.
Like you can be very social and you enjoy it and get energy from it, and you really need your downtime and your alone time to re-energize.
I changed my answer. I'm that too. Ambivert.
Love it. Love it. All right. I'm an extrovert for sure. That's clear. So let's share some, WomanUP is so much about sharing our wisdom with each other. And so let's take a moment here to share some final words of wisdom with those who are listening or who are going to listen to the replay. Joanne, you want to start with that?
Sure. I think together we are amazing. I think we're stronger. Together we create abundance in this world. And together, never stop learning.
Thank you. Danielle.
I think this business is about relationships and cooperation, and women we really enjoy that, and it's a place for women who enjoy that to be yourselves and let your light shine, and also develop deeper relationships so that we can cooperate and collaborate in our lives. I'm really excited about it.
Sandra.
So wisdom for WomanUP for me is, I think WomanUP is life-changing. I think some of the speakers that we've had over the last 6 years have just left such a lasting impression. And I do, you know, what is it, 15 conferences a year. And the soul wrenching discussions that we have at WomanUP, just that make you really look deep, is life changing. So for me, WomanUP is life changing. And I think if you show up and are open to the possibilities, the right thing will just land in your lap as you're there, right? It's like, Joanne, you said last year that you had a pivotal moment with Valerie Torelli, but it's because you were open and willing to understand that that's what she was giving you.
Yep.
So it's such a special atmosphere. I can't stress enough that there's nothing else like it that I've ever seen in any other industry, and just enjoy it.
I love that. That's like the perfect segue into what my heart was relayed. I've had a lot of personal things that I feel like in my life have cracked my heart open in this last year. And my words of wisdom and my own, of course, we always give our whatever we're sharing with others is what we need to hear, right? Is I hope that I, as well as others, can walk into those rooms as vulnerable and open as possible, because I really think that's where the magic happens. And I, you know, there aren't that many places in this world that feel safe to do that. And I feel like we are so, just so blessed to have this community and to have this opportunity to gather at the retreat in Oceanside in June. And so if you're thinking about it, if you're on the fence, you can meet these lovely, lovely ladies there, spend time, and it's going to be amazing. So please buy your tickets. We want to see you there. If you have any questions, reach out to any of the Wavemakers. Deborah, Sarah, we're here to help. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
See you in
Happy
June.
Friday. Happy weekend.
Happy Friday.